Hey, what's happening? Tim with Nomad Trading. Oh, maybe you guys can actually hear me now. I apologize if you were trying to watch me or you were watching me and you couldn't hear me. That's the second mic that I've had issues with. I already had to change mics once, and that one crapped out. Now this one's having issues. So, anyway, hopefully this one's working and you can actually hear me now. So, what I was saying was today the hottest stocks, LUB and NKLA, and not really Codex. I was watching that, but it wasn't really all that hot. Tesla was another one, hot for all the wrong reasons today. So let me just check over here and make sure y'all can actually hear me and my mic's okay. Yeah, it appears to be working. Okay, so today we had LUB was probably the biggest one of the day. Traded as of right now 166 million shares on the day. It's up 93%, so almost 100% as of right now. If we go to the 1 minute, it did provide some opportunities, but a little bit more of a difficult stock to trade, kind of like the one I was talking about the other day. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head what the ticker was. But anyway, it's very choppy. We're seeing that a lot lately. Part of it's because of the market having down days. I think the stocks that are the low float momentum stocks are fighting against the tide, because the market's going down and the stocks are taking off, but they're having to fight an uphill battle. So you see a lot of bigger pullbacks, which makes it a little more difficult to trade because it's a very stressful battle when you're trading something like this. You buy the breakout and you're trying to hold it, and then you get a big drop. And you got to decide if you're going to hold through that or take the loss. Same thing here, it's going up, but then you got just as big a drops on the other side. Nice upside, big drops. So very choppy, not what I like to see as far as something to trade. I did not trade it today. Didn't like the choppiness of it and didn't really see an amazing setup. If I was going to trade it, it would have been right here because I was watching the trend line. I've talked about how I've been using trend lines more often. And you can see the trend right there. And then as it broke this first big green candle with heavy volume, breaking out of the trend line and above VWAP would have been a great place to buy and scalp. Let's see. What else? As far as what that's going to do, it just had news come out after hours or maybe at the end of the market close here. More news about that they're going to be selling, Luby's restaurant chains to be sold in liquidation plan. Fuddruckers. So the news earlier today was that they were going to distribute. I don't know why I can say that word. Bear with me, my mind is all foggy. I'm super tired for some reason right now. I'm having trouble focusing. And anyway, distribute proceeds to shareholders, which was a positive thing. So people liked that, jumped on it, stock went up, got tons of volume. But anyway, that news apparently is not good that just came out, because it's been fading ever since, and it's broke below VWAP now. And struggling to stay above $2. If I was going to guess, I would say that this will, the odds are, even though I had a ton of volume, the odds are that it will probably fade tomorrow, but we'll just have to wait and see. But if you look at the daily chart, we know that history is the best way to predict the future. When we look at resistance and support levels and things like that, it's all based on history. And if we look at the history, this is the daily chart on the 100 days on the daily chart. And last time it gapped up here above the 200, moving average, which is this blue line, and ended up fading for all eternity. So here it is, gapping up again. It has gapped up higher. It's currently trading higher than the previous high over here, but not for long. It doesn't look like. The high that day was, let's see, 199. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. That's why we're hovering around that $2 area. My bet would be that this ends up fading tomorrow. But when you have 160 some million shares traded, you never know. That's a lot of volume. It could keep going tomorrow, but my money would be that it does not. I think it's more likely to curl down, pop up maybe and test $2 again, and then fade some more. That's my prediction. As far as NKLA, this I did trade today. This is Nikola, which is a electric car company, I believe, and the news was GM takes a $2 billion equity stake. So anytime you got GM involved or any gigantic conglomerate business taking a $2 billion equity stake in the company, that's a pretty good catalyst. So it traded 134 million shares. This one, I believe, will continue to go tomorrow. If I was placing bets on this one, I would say it would be a decent swing into at least tomorrow. We'll see what happens with that. Stocks like this, blue chips and bigger companies, are heavily swayed by the market, which has been going down drastically the last 3 days in a row. So you never know. We'll have to wait and see. The market could drag it down, which it did several times today. But overall, it's pretty good stock to trade today. Had good range. I bought it at $50 because it had already broke down below VWAP right away early in the morning. I did not like that drop, but it did hold the 200 moving average and bounce off that and shot right back through VWAP, tested that level of resistance, and then continued on. So to me, it seemed like it had a pretty decent amount of strength, so I bought it at $50 or $50 for the break of $50, the whole dollar break. I thought that could end up being resistance, and if it could break that, it could run. And then I just moved my stop loss up as it went. Only bought 25 shares and ended up 53.45 was where I ended up getting stopped out. I typically am a scalper. I'm not in stocks very long at all, but on this one, I thought with the catalyst being pretty good with GM and everything, it could really run. So when I bought it, I just kept moving my stops up as it went. Like I said, only 25 shares, so ended up only making $86 on that trade. But my goal is $100 a day, so $86. I consider that to be a win for me anyway. Now it is curling back. It did come down and test VWAP, but the market was selling off, so that played a part in it. But it did bounce off of VWAP, curl up, and it's broken through the 200 and the 50-day moving average, and it's back up here at $53. So far, my idea that it could run tomorrow as well seems to be playing out, and I may end up taking a swing on it. I don't like holding overnight. If you've watched some of my other videos, you might have heard me talk about one particular instance where I lost almost $10,000 on one trade overnight because I held it overnight. I woke up to almost a $10,000 loss. So makes me a little bit nervous to be holding the stock overnight. I don't do it very often if I can help it. So that's why I'm not as much of a swing trader. I don't like that news can come out and all of a sudden you're down a ton of money. It makes me nervous, and I'm not very good at holding long term. So if you're swinging, a lot of times that can turn into a longer term hold. Anyway, I'm just not very comfortable with that. I'm much more comfortable scalping, and I feel like I can predict the market in short time periods a lot better than longer ones. This one in particular, with the catalyst being GM, I think it could run tomorrow. And it also had a lot of volume as well. So kind of watching that to see if it comes down here and gets back down to this just under 52 level, where there's a little bit of support here, because we had resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and as we know, resistance can become support. So if it comes down somewhere in that range and tests that range, I may consider taking another small position like I did today and trying to swing it into tomorrow. We will see, but as of now, it needs to pull back a little bit. I don't want to buy it right here in all of this consolidation here. We got all this consolidation here that acts as resistance. Anybody that was in here that got trapped as the stock dropped here, they're going to be looking to get out if they don't think it's going to run tomorrow, and shorts will also be looking to get in that area. So that's why I'm not going to be buying it at the current price, but if it pulls back, perhaps. I don't like that it when it went to break high of day, it did not break out. If you look right here at the pre-market high, it was a failed breakout. Came right back down all the way to VWAP actually. So that's not as strong as I would like, but I still think it could be a runner tomorrow. Wait and see. Maybe buy a dip on it. I watched Codex, CODX also. Did not buy it, but I did. I watched it just because it has a lot of range. It's good for day trading. If you bought the breakout here around $9.30, plenty of room here to make a good amount of money as it went from there all the way to $11.50 before it even really had a big pullback. So could have had a good opportunity to make a lot of money there, and it stayed VWAP, so it never really tested your emotions too much there. But I did not trade it. I just kind of watched it, and I didn't even see it until it was already in the middle of that move. So not going to chase it. Tesla, we got to talk about Tesla. Oh man, it's still dropping. It's dropped even more since I looked at it earlier. We got to talk about Tesla because it just set a record today as the biggest drop, the biggest decrease in one day that it's ever had. Not exactly a good reason to be making news. Let's see. Yeah, Tesla stock suffers biggest ever drop as it starts second bear market of the year. So it's officially in a bear market. Going lower even as we speak. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 minute chart. Yeah, so it's basically faded the entire day. I feel bad for anybody that bought that at the top and is sitting through these gigantic down days. Everybody knows what goes up must come down, and if you look at the RSI, it was extremely overbought in this area. Not extremely, but it was pretty overbought by the RSI standards. So here it comes, and it hasn't bottomed out yet, as it's still dropping. RSI is not oversold yet, but it is coming into an area of consolidation. So there's hope for you if you are holding this and worried. I would think that probably in this 315 range or maybe 300 should find some support, I would think. I'll have to wait and see, but if it makes it that far down anyway. The good thing about Tesla is that if you look at it, this is 1 year on the daily chart, and it's really, even though this is a crazy drastic drop in such a short amount of time, it's still really somewhat of a natural pullback. It's not, hasn't really even broken the uptrend down at all. So you can't, don't freak out yet if you're holding it. You might be okay. There's a chance. I don't want to promote holding and hoping if you're, a day trader or whatever, because as a day trader, a swing trader, holding and hoping is not a strategy. But as an investor, that's who I'm speaking to. As an investor, you should be okay at this point anyway. Hasn't even broken the uptrend yet. And then we already looked at the overall market. It's had 3 huge down days. But again, if you zoom out and look at it over the course of, this is 2 years, so we've had quite a few big V's that have recovered. And this, of course, being the coronavirus drop right here. And it recovered all that and hit all-time highs after that. So not that worried about that yet either. Does the stock market even go down at this point? I mean, let's be honest. I don't even know if it's possible for the stock market to go down, right? I mean, that's what Davey, day trader Portnoy, whatever his name is, the Barstool guy, he says the stock market never goes down, and he's pretty much right to some extent. But I would think at some point it will. Let's see what else. MICT, yeah, that one was not that exciting. It's got a nice uptrend going on the daily chart, so it might be a swing trade type of stock, but today's a pretty big green day. Don't want to be buying at the top, don't want to be chasing it, but it is in a decent uptrend. Swing trading's not really my thing though, so I'm not going to do that. What was another one? Next. This was one that was pretty good little gainer today. Started in the 140 area and went up $1 and a pretty good steady gain all the way up. If you'd bought the breakout there this morning, then you would have had basically no emotional stress because it did never come back down and test that level. Went up all day. Could have had plenty of chances to make good money on that and several different chances at breakouts, but didn't have a ton of volume, so it was on my scanner, but nothing too exciting there either. It is up 66%, I guess. I didn't realize it was up that much, but yeah, pretty good. Only 7 million shares. Other than that, yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I'm not that exciting of a live stream, but I wanted to jump on here. I haven't been live in a few days, so I just wanted to get back in the swing of it, make a live video, talk about the stocks that were hot today and what was moving. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think. Let me know if you made money or not. What's up, Dave? Dave Snyder. Got here late. Excellent content. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Anyway, yeah. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you want to see. If there's anything you need me to make a video about, I can do that. Just let me know. And hopefully you all made a ton of money today, and hopefully you make even more tomorrow. And hopefully I do as well. So we can all be rich millionaires, driving Lamborghinis and living in mansions, right? Living the dream, working from home, trading the stock market. That's all I got. Peace.